ProductInfoX project is a project which is funded under the 7th Frame program. It's now actually ending. Now it's Horizon 2020, which is in the market. The work has been involving European associations and national associations and SMEs. So we started up the project to help the SMEs and the different actors in the industry in Europe to have a better defined ways of working together.
I think the importance of this project is that it brought together important stakeholders. And so for me, this is a nucleus which then could spread out, which helps others to understand. I think that's one of the important achievements of this project.
So in the project, we had the two big areas to look at. One was to do research in Europe to look at standards, local regulations. So it's CEN, ISO, national requirements, and then also to actually deliver something to the market which could be used and that could create a transaction, helping people in different BIM processes.
Well, in order to identify and establish and measure performance, you need to have reference standards that describe performance. And so those standards are different in different countries, but they still relate to the same objects or products in a model.
This is used in the different descriptions. So when you describe anything in a building, that actually is defined by these standards. So that means that there is a missing link between the specifications on one side and the standards on the other side, and the BIM tools, because they have not focused on actually these standards. So they've been creating their own digital data sets and have not studied these standards.
So it's important to be able to have an association with, say, a door, but that door has different standards in different countries. And so if we have a common name for a door and we can associate different standards with it, that helps people who are doing business in different countries to easily find the standard that they need that describes the performance of a door, for example.
So I believe that the project will help and clarify for the industry why we need to follow these CEN standards, ISO standards and national requirements. So based on our findings, we created a work process working with Building Smart International to make sure that the standard IFD standard, the tool, it's an implementation of the IFD standard, it's called Building Smart Data Dictionary. So we read a lot of CEN standards in this project, and then we actually created data from these standards to define the language for manufacturers, where they actually test their products to define the data for the manufacturer.
The product manufacturers can actually go in and use the data set that's been established in the dictionary, as coBuilder has, to develop templates that people will ultimately need their product information to be filled out. So it's just a way to centralize them and what I call put in everybody in the same sandbox. Because if everybody's making these data sets separately and storing them separately, how are we all going to work on them? And we're not going to go everywhere. So if the normalization that you were talking about, that happens in the dictionary too. One country can have a data set for what they're doing, and another one has one, and then a third one comes in and starts seeing that these guys use these, and then all of a sudden the three go, well, we're doing the same thing, why don't we just all break it down to this?
There are a lot of classification systems and product databases all over the world. And Building Smart Data Dictionary is the one repository to organize and make available these to all. In my opinion, The work that coBuilder has done is a very praiseworthy effort, and will be very important to get more use of Building Smart Data Dictionary and OpenBIM. Now we have a lot of information on many products and many standards incorporated in Building Smart Data Dictionary. We have a snowball, and it has been started to roll.
So we believe again that the ProductInfoX project will help the different actors to distribute and to collect that data. So the ProductInfoX will mean that people that are sending or receiving data actually can understand each other because they speak the standards language. So the transaction of data could be done.